welcome. You're listening to the Best of Investing on News Talk 910. I'm your host, Edward Brown, and I'm joined in the studio here by my co-host, Mark Hanf of Pacific Private Money, California's fastest growing private lender, and Brian Burke of Praxis Capital. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Now write that number down, 888-912-1190, because you're going to use that number to answer the trivia questions for 3 vacations given away during each commercial break. That's right, we're giving away 9 vacations during this show. The vacations are sponsored by Lighthouse Resort and Marina, which is located 1 hour northeast of San Francisco, and the vacations are free. Their only request, a $75 cleaning fee to cover housekeeping expenses. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. You can reach them at 916-777-5511. Today's trivia theme is famous parents of actors. That'll be kind of fun.
That'll be interesting.
All right, and our website is bestofinvesting.com. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube by typing Best of Investing Radio Show. And don't forget, World Wraps in Corte Madera and Santa Clara is still giving our listeners a free smoothie with purchase of a wrapper bowl. If you mention the Best of Investing, go there for lunch today. Best wraps in town. Don't forget to mention the Best of Investing for your free smoothie. Now today we actually have a couple of special guests. Our first special guest, I have him in the studio because we are approaching Valentine's Day.
Indeed.
Indeed. So we decided to have an expert on the show, and we're actually going to have a little special trivia contest because John Garfolo from Stephen Hill Jewelers is going to be giving away one of our lucky contestants, so to speak, a gift. And I have personally purchased jewelry from John's jewelry store, again, Stephen Hill in San Rafael. And I still remember what I purchased, and it's been going on at least 15 years.
It's Stephen, not Stefan?
It is Stefan.
Sorry about that.
Stephen Hill, that's okay.
Stephen Hill, okay, I always wondered about that.
Okay, John, welcome to the Best of Investing.
Thanks, nice to be here.
Okay, now, first tell us about gold and platinum, because you mentioned something to me a couple of days ago I thought was really interesting.
Yes, I mentioned to you that for the first time in history, platinum is actually less expensive per ounce pure than gold. That's never happened before, and I told you partially why, which is because the automobile industry is so tied to platinum catalytic converters. When they're not selling as many cars, they're not using as much platinum, so there's a decrease in the market right now. So gold has soared above it.
Cool. Really?
That's interesting.
So Stefan, for like gold jewelry,
No, remember, his name is John.
Actually, John
Stefan.
Yeah,
Okay, got it. Sorry about
my
that.
mother's confused.
John, for gold jewelry has increased in price as much as the price of gold has been going up, and as we've been watching.
Sadly, yes. I feel like I can't quote on anything without checking with my mommy. But yeah, 5 years ago, pieces were half as expensive as they are now, and that's partially because you're paying for it with a dollar that's not quite as valuable.
Okay, now since we're approaching Valentine's Day, what should our listeners be looking for in purchasing jewelry? A lot of guys out there, listen up, because this is what your wives and girlfriends are going to want.
It's interesting that you mentioned guys, because we sell jewelry to both men and women, but guys, this is that moment where you buy something for someone that they don't necessarily buy for themselves. And I'm hoping that I'm speaking to grown-ups here, because maybe now it's something beyond candy.
Okay, so I shouldn't go into your store and try to buy a vacuum cleaner for my wife for Valentine's Day. Okay, I just want to make sure that
it depends how long your relationship's will last.
Yeah, my wife wouldn't care for that too much, I don't think.
So this is the moment that you look for something that they don't buy for themselves. I mean, that makes men feel useful, don't you think?
Absolutely, but in your shop, your store, I mean, you do things handmade.
Right.
Yours is special.
We manufacture at least half of what you see in our cases, and we collect the rest from Europe and all over the world.
I don't know if you guys have ever gone to his store, but the pieces are very, very beautiful. They really are. And each one is different. That's why.
But not all terribly expensive. So
no, that's good.
All price range.
Do you find that most men that when they come into your shop, they actually know what they're looking for?
The door, generally. So we try and calm them down and
I like
show
this
them
guy.
jewelry.
We gotta have him on more often.
No, and that's the thing, you know. You come in, ask questions, and by the way, nice is underrated. Nice will get you a lot of things, even when you're traveling, right? So ask questions. We are big blabbermouths and love to talk about what we do. Because we make things, I think it's more interesting that's my job, is to remain interesting.
Are there any identifiable trends in what people look for in jewelry now? I know that yellow gold used to be really popular. Now it seems it kind of shifted to white gold and platinum. Is that really a trend, or is that
Platinum,
just something?
white gold, stainless steel, by the way, is the new platinum because of the cost.
Well, I can afford aluminum, is that right?
No aluminum foil.
Well, think about your watches, Matt. You know, a lot of stainless steel watches there. Well, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of jewelry being made in stainless steel and titanium now. And these are, you know, nearly precious metals, and the nice thing is that they're so durable. If they're mixed with gold, it can be jewelry too.
Yeah, because I know like 24 karat gold is if it's pure gold, very, very soft, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, practically spread it.
Exactly. Okay. And what are you going to give our special listeners, and make sure that, or our listeners are always special, of course, but you have some kind of special deal that you wanted to offer to our listeners, in addition to we're having the special trivia contest where we're giving a pendant away. But, and then don't forget to give your contact information, because people are going to want to check you out.
Contact information afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely, for people who want to come to your store.
Okay. On further consideration, I just thought I would offer an additional 5% off of our normal jewelry sale, which will be taking place for Valentine's Day, 2 weeks prior to Valentine's Day. We do what I consider to be the last honest 20% off sale. So for your listeners, I'll offer an additional 5% if they mention this show.
Okay, so
I'd
they
be
mentioned the
happy to
best
do that.
investing, they actually get 25%.
That's
off.
right.
Excellent.
And this
Right.
starts 2 weeks? Is it for 2 weeks, or is it just that one
It's
day?
for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So
got it.
from today's show for a couple of weeks. Okay, and
Nice.
people
That's a
want
good
to know
deal.
where
It's
is.
essentially February until Valentine's Day, right?
Okay, and where is your beautiful
We're
store?
we're at 1226 4th Street in downtown San Rafael.
Any phone number?
And 415-459-5808.
Okay, and you
And
have a
we
website too.
We
don't
do,
you?
stephanhill.com, but that's STEPHANHILL.com.
Great. John, thank you so much. Later on in the show, I'm going to announce the trivia contest for doing the giveaway. And again, John from Stephan Hill Jewelers, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so now what I did was I paused it. I figured out how to pause it so that I can come right back in.
I like that
Great.
feature.
That is cool.
Am I free to go?
You're free to go.
Oh,
That'd
man.
be great.
That's-
Oh, yeah, wait, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Not free to
That's
go
the
yet.
best thing you should have said. With earphones or without?
With earphones.
I told you if
With
you
the
run for the
headphones?
door.
With the
What's his
headphones
first
and
name
then,
again?
Ed, you know
Kramer.
what to do.
Kramer.
So
That's
with,
it.
with your headphones on.
And I should know.
Yeah,
Edward?
when he doesn't.
Yeah, now you know what to do. So,
Okay, all right, so,
um,
yeah, you're looking at me.
Oh.
But you're not saying anything.
Okay.
Because I'm talking now, and he's just getting, that's right, exactly. He's doing a close-up of you right now, so that when it comes on TV, you'll just be hearing me, and there'll be cutaways like that, so very good. That's exactly what you want to do. And Kramer, you just tell John
Okay.
when he needs to.
When you got enough of them.
That's
Yeah, when
great.
you have enough of them.
I'll have to go down to the store and get enough of them. Okay.
All set?
We're good.
Okay.
All right, guys, that wasn't nearly as bad as I
No,
thought it was
yeah,
going
that
to
was
be.
great. You know what?
John, you were great.
I've
Love
had
that.
dentistry that was.
What are you guys looking forward to?
That's
Beautiful.
So, you understand now, so am I leaving this here with
Yeah,
you? And
yeah,
you're gonna,
so,
okay, so it's in there, all
If you
right?
see him wearing it tomorrow.
Yeah, if I see his wife wearing it, then, okay, we'll
Then you
know
know
this
we
was
got
all a
problems,
ruse.
John.
All right,
Sure.
guys.
All right.
All right, that's
Good
all
job.
right.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Edward.
A pleasure
Good
meeting
luck.
you.
You bet. Take
All
care,
right,
you guys.
thanks for coming.
All right, Kramer.
Might be seeing Elise wearing.
What's
it.
that?
I'll come down and,
Be sure to call in.
Oh, it's,
I'll do really well.
So co-hosts are not eligible, I guess.
Right.
yeah.
Oh, how lovely.
It's a book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Okay.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. Well, this one's only worth 15,000, so.
Right.
How much more time do we
Well,
have
the
on this?
thing is,
session?
I tried to get Tiffany.
Yeah.
And they said yes.
The real
And
Tiffany?
then they said, yeah, well, actually, her last name is Tiffany.
Oh.
And then they said yes, and then they no, and then they said yes, and they said, I can't make it. And I go, you know what, I'll get someone else.
If you're not going back on the air, can everybody take their earphones off?
Okay.
If you're not going back.
We're going right back.
We're going
on.
back.
Okay, you're going back on?
Yeah.
This is a pause.
This was a
This is a
pause.
pause,
This is a
not
pause.
break.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, so.
So
he said-
confusing.
He said thank you. Yeah, okay. So what we're gonna do here is, we've got, well, we can always control the time. So, each segment's about 11 minutes. This was about 8 minutes and 30 seconds. So,
You got any goodies?
Do I?
Yeah.
if it's okay, I'll announce you in the second segment.
Okay.
To let people know,
I
to stay
actually
tuned.
read that many blogs this week. I got a little pressed for.
You okay with
action.
time?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
What time will we be done? And that's,
6:30.
Oh, before 2.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Is everybody's cell phone off?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Does
oh,
it
and by
sound
the way.
okay on this?
Yeah,
Do
you're
I
good,
need
you're
to be
fine.
closer?
You should be about like this. Oh, I forgot to tell John this. If you're gonna talk to Mark, don't do this. What you do is you pivot like
Right,
this.
like that.
You've gotta keep your mouth near the microphone.
Yeah.
If you get off, or if you get off
Right.
angle,
Yeah.
then it doesn't pick you up, so you gotta kinda make sure.
What do you want to go into for 4 minutes then?
Love the mic.
Or 5 minutes?
Okay,
What do we got?
well, first of all, okay, just so you know, Brian, your question is how do you finance the properties?
Yes, how do I
Just-
finance the property purchase? Yep.
And, Mark, how do you determine the interest rate you charge your borrowers?
Oh, okay.
Until they start to
like
crack.
this.
If I like their face.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, there's the dartboard.
You just keep going up till you see a tear come out of one eye.
So,
then you know
so
you've
when
hit the
someone
line.
says, I want to get a loan from you, how much
That's
does it
actually
cost?
good.
You
I
go,
like
well,
that
send me a
one.
photo first. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay, we won't have enough time for email for that. We could just cut to a break. Yeah, let's just do that, because it's close enough. I can just.
It's close enough where we could have a
All right,
short.
sounds
break.
good. Yeah, then we have longer. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that way it doesn't have to break it up as much.
Yeah, I like that, okay.
Maybe I should check some blogs really quick.
While he's breaking.
This is a good one. You look at this one.
Okay, you guys ready? I'm gonna cut right into it.
Calculate
Okay.
risk.
Here we go. Again, John, thanks for being in the studio with us. Okay, we are gonna cut to our first commercial break, and just so you, the idiots.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't really say that, did I?
What do you call
You were
it?
looking, you were looking at Mark. That's just, what's wrong with
Sorry,
you?
Mark. No, for our listening audience.
For our audio radiance.
Exactly, yeah, really. Our other special guest is going to be Kate Collins from Gaia Energy Systems. And she is our solar expert. And it's going to be very interesting because I purchased solar for my house. So I know a little bit, I know just enough to make me dangerous.
It's not like tanning or anything like that, is it?
No,
No,
not
yeah.
that I know.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So, anyway, okay, here's our first commercial break, and here's our first trivia question. On the Beverly Hillbillies, remember the
the
theme
Clampetts.
today, the
Yeah.
Clampetts, that's right, the theme today is famous parents of actors, all right? On the Beverly Hillbillies, the actor who played Jethro Bodine had a famous father. Who was it? The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Don't say anything yet, guys. We have to you'll give the answer when you come back. I know, Brian, you love NASCAR. So you should
I was
know
just
the
hoping
question.
Mark was gonna write it down so I could copy off this paper.
Yeah. Okay. The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. On the Beverly Hillbillies, the actor who played Jethro Bodine had a famous father. Who was it? 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, address, your email address, and your phone number, and speak slowly and spell it out for us, please. And we will be right back.
All right, idiots.
You edit that out, or does that stay?
Now he's still
That'll be
filming.
on the television.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, the thing is, he's filming now because he likes to have all this
We-
extra stuff here.
And what was his name?
Yeah, right.
He knows.
Max
Huh?
Bear.
Who?
That's right.
Max Bear.
Max Baer was
Max
I have
his
no
son.
idea.
Who's Max Baer?
Do you remember? Well, did you see the movie Cinderella Man with Russell Crowe?
Never mind,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
useless, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. No problem.
Media
at all.
love.
I knew that, but I had forgotten it. I knew
Good. That's
Jethro
good.
had
That's what
a,
we like. Okay.
Max Bear.
I would say 27.
And Mark told me that some time ago. That's when I remembered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Those all
and if anybody
articles.
needs makeup, Kramer's right there to put makeup on.
And makeup, anybody?
Another
Make up
keeping the
anybody?
interest rates, they're predicting low rates through
Mhm.
2014.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
So
to
that's
cover.
3 years. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
12, 13, and 14, you're talking another, which is what, which kind of goes hand in hand with what Robert Kramer at Bay Area Wealth Builders was predicting a
That's
couple
right.
weeks ago. But in fact, he said interest rates may actually go lower. You may see mortgage rates in the mid-3s before it's all said and done.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be great.
That would be good. And because I was silly enough not to put this on, I need to just quickly.
See how long it is?
Exactly.
That's all right. I'm looking for news.
Stand by for news.
Yeah, that's right. The newsroom is actively doing research.
There was no news today, we are happy to report.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing happened. That's amazing.
That's always a good one, right? Okay, today's 27th. All right.
The trucking index increased sharply in December.
Trucking index.
Take that. No, I kind of like this one here, Mark. It says,
Welcome, you're listening to the best of investing on
mortgage
News Talk.
rates
The
reached a
Beverly
record
Hills
low.
University. Spell it out for us, please. And we will be right back.
2011 record
Beautiful
low
photo.
new home sales and distressing.
He didn't
gap.
even miss it.
I saw what you were up to, but I figured, you know,
Hey,
Kate,
Kate.
you had the right to, you know,
Well, it was
revisit
the
it.
worst year for new home sales. Well,
That's not surprising. Nobody's building any new houses.
I know. Really stinks. Although the ones they're building, they're putting solar. A lot of people put solar.
I've been seeing that.
Let's talk about that. That's good.
Of course, there's not a lot of building going on, but.
And then in Sonoma County, they have the new energy efficiency loans that you can do where they're unsecured and you pay with your property taxes. If you sell the house, the balance that's remaining just transfers to the new owner as part of their property taxes. Then the lenders said,
That's okay.
Yeah,
wait,
right, yeah, okay, you know.
can't do
Yeah,
that
because that's
yeah.
that's a priority.
because now you're putting
Yeah.
those loans
Yeah.
ahead of
Exactly.
ours in priority.
Yeah.
So then they had to go back to the drawing board.
Well, they're still doing
And did they do this?
I think
When
they did it. They did
Okay.
exactly that.
Yeah,
Do
always-
it like
always-
this.
Always gotta know when they're doing that.
No, they're still, the loans are still out there. People are still getting Skype lending. It's just, they have to be aware that if they sell that home, they might have to refi.
Yeah,
might have to pay it
roll that
off.
in,
Roll
Pay
it
it
in.
off or roll it
Yeah.
into the.
Okay, Kate gave me some questions, so you guys have pencil and paper?
Oh, well, thanks.
Well, our photocopier is on.
Does it
the-
give a
hold on,
copy
hold on.
machine?
This is a high-tech studio here. I got it.
Okay, hold on.
Well,
I'm gonna get a glass of water while you guys are goofing off here.
that's probably a good idea.
Toss it in the garbage for
Is
you.
that my glass of water?
I don't know how you're gonna get out.
Not mine again.
Oh, was it back there?
There's water here.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I'm usually able to wing it with the questions on the fly.
That's true. She had specific ones, that's might be.
Well, I
Oh, really?
don't,
That
you
I thought were
can
pretty
wing it
cool.
all you want. If I can't answer it, well, you know, I can, but I probably can answer most.
Well, we will
Oh,
try
yeah,
to
no,
make you
no.
cry.
Yeah.
You know, if you can come up with questions that my customers haven't asked me, that'd be great.
That
It'd be
would
very
actually be
interesting.
very
Yeah,
good.
no, it'd be very helpful.
Okay, so, I'll ask the first, the questions 1 and 2 are kind of related. How, does solar really pay for itself, and payback system, return on investment? So I'll ask those 2. Mark, how large should your utility be for solar to make financial sense?
Utility bill.
Utility bill, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
utility
Okay.
bill, okay? Brian, if you could ask tax credits that are available?
Tax credits.
Tax credits, rebates.
Okay.
Sort of a lumped in.
Okay, so I'll lump
really.
those 2 in
Yeah.
together, if I get tax credits and rebates, okay?
Cool.
And then I was gonna have Brian ask the difference between leasing and financing.
Okay.
And Mark, what financing options, qualifications, in order to qualify to get?
And you know I'm gonna kick that straight back to you, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
say, well,
right.
why don't you tell me?
Well, that's why I had it, because he was
Yeah.
right in there.
Hard money.
And I was gonna ask about, does it increase the home value? And I was also gonna ask about explaining the PG&E tiers, because, yeah,
Yeah.
because and, again, like I said, I know just enough to make me dangerous.
Right, yeah. And the tiered structure, we can certainly talk about it. It's hard for people to wrap their brain around it without something in front of them, but that's okay.
But that,
Can
when
I
you
ask
the
the
use
more
listening
that-
audience to go
expensive it
get their
is,
bills?
basically.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like our tax rates, in theory.
In theory.
Yeah.
Progressive rates.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, 5 seconds of silence, people, silence.
We're gonna have a moment of silence for Edward and the idiots.
Yeah. They're not idiots, they're nice people.
I wasn't talking about the listeners. I don't know where you got that from.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the co-hosts.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Or at least this one.
Yeah,
That's right. Okay.
Okay, you guys ready? Okay, so again, we get 5 seconds of silence and then try to, here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Mark Honth and Brian Burke. And when we cut to the this is the first commercial break, we asked this trivia question. On the Beverly Hillbillies, the actor who played Jethro Bodine had a famous father. Who was it? Anyone? Anyone?
Well, Kramer knew the answer.
He did.
Yeah.
The answer is Max Baer Sr. Max Baer Jr. was Jethro Bodine, and Max Baer Sr. was a famous boxer. In fact, he was in Cinderella Man. Russell Crowe knocked him out in order to win the title. All right. We are in the studio with a special guest, Kate Collins from Gaia Energy Systems. She's going to teach us about solar, and I'm going to ask the first question. Does solar really pay for itself?
Absolutely.
Okay, next question. Okay, well, what is the payback system, payback of the system and return on investment?
Well, it sort of depends on how large of a system you're going to put out. It depends on how much power you're using. And the big thing with solar to realize is that the size of the house does not matter. It's all about energy consumption. So most people in our area, we find, have pretty high energy consumption. We're a pretty consumptive.
Especially if you have single pane windows.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a given, and that's the first thing we do before we even talk about solar, is switching all of that out. You want to make the house more energy efficient. It's much more cost effective to become more energy efficient than it is to put more PV up. PV is expensive, new windows are much less expensive, new fridge, that kind of thing.
Sure. Well, when I was looking at getting solar for my house, the people taught me about the tier system in PG&E, which, as Mark pointed out during the break, is the more...
It's like taxes. It's progressive. The more energy you use, the more you're paying for that last bit of energy.
For the last bit of energy.
That's exactly
and
right.
Are there 5 tiers?
There's 5 tiers.
There's 5 tiers, okay.
Currently, tier 4 and 5 are, in PG&E territory anyway, are the same rate, okay? So, you actually cap at tier 4.
Okay.
PG&E,
But it's still really expensive.
It's still really expensive.
3 and 4 is pretty expensive.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you're paying 23 cents a kilowatt hour in tier 3 and 36 cents a kilowatt hour in tier 4 and 5.
Okay. Well, that's what happened with my house. What we did was we looked at the rate of return was a lot better for us in my family by only knocking out the first, I think it's 2 or 3 tiers.
That's exactly right.
Or the last, I guess it's really tiers 5, 4, and 3, really.
Yeah.
And so it was only like a 5 kilowatt system, and I think my return on investment payback time was going to be somewhere between 7 to 10 years, assuming PG&E costs don't go up.
Right, and actually...
Which you know they will.
Of course.
You know they will. I mean, historically, they've gone up at least 6.5% over the last 20 years. And we've
Wow.
seen sometimes, 2 years ago they went up, it was about 12% in 1 year. Now they have sort of leveled off, which is great, but I guarantee they're going to start going back up again.
Well, I love it when PG&E goes to the PUC and says, everyone's so efficient that we need more money, so raise the rates. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
why do you become efficient then? So what do? You do a calculation based on the old PG&E bills?
Yeah, what we do, if we have historical data, that's the best way to do it. Okay, so we go into the house, we look at what is their usage over the last 2 years. We look at any patterns. We try to see if there's any place where they're spending more than they should be.
Yeah.
If they're using more power than they should be, we try to correct that first. Because like you said, your power, you got out of the top 2, 3 tiers,
Yeah.
and that's going to give you a very good rate of return.
Exactly.
And
well, I know someone who had spent $90,000 because I think a lot of people think with solar, okay, the idea is to zero your bill out, but that incremental cost for the extra panels is only knocking out the cheapest ones.
Right.
I mean, his payback is going to be over 25 years.
really,
Yeah.
that's surprising to me, because usually, even taking somebody out of all 5 tiers,
Yeah.
you're getting a payback of 16 to 18 years.
Well, I guess it depends on which company you go with.
Yeah, that could make a difference also.
So the goal is not to zero out your energy bill. So that's news for me. The goal is to get out of those expensive top tiers.
That's the most effective goal. It depends on whether you're looking at this as a strict financial investment. And if you're looking at it as a strict financial investment, you get yourself out of the top 3 tiers, and you're going to have a payback of 5 to 7 years.
Yeah. That is typical.
Well,
then,
prices
5 to
have
7.
also
Okay.
gone
They've
down.
gone down.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so
this was done a while ago.
If there's a power outage, do you still have electricity, or is it?
Not if you don't have batteries in a generator. And for most people, I talk people out of that all the time. And not because we're afraid of them. I live off the grid. I don't have PG&E. I only have batteries.
Lucky you.
Wow.
Yes, isn't that strange? But it is not cost effective. If you live in downtown San Rafael, how often does power go out? Once in a blue moon. There's no reason to spend.
You don't live in a tent, do you?
No,
No.
no. Actually, I live in a very nice custom home.
Off the grid.
Off the grid, yeah.
That's right.
So how high should my PG&E bill be for it to make sense for me to invest in a solar product?
That's a great question. Really, if your PG&E bills aren't at least $100 a month, then the only reason to put up solar is for the green
green,
element.
yeah.
It's for
I mean, I
environmental
don't know,
reasons.
I guess you have to have like a little condo in order to, and then at that point, you're probably not allowed to do it because you have the association.
I don't
you know.
ever remember having
$100.
$100.
bill.
Can you run a refrigerator for $100 a
You
month?
can, you can. No, we have people who
I think
think to
my,
us
I
and
think
they've
my
got
night
bills.
lights cost me more than $100
Yeah, I
a
think
month.
so.
You need an energy consultation, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It's all those little adapter plugs that you have in the wall for charging. That's what's sucking up all the energy.
I guess so. Can I put candles in instead?
That's not a good idea.
That's not a good idea.
No.
What do you typically find when you go into someone's house that, you know, that they're wasting electricity? 'Cause it sounds like that's something that you also do. You go, oh, well, you could probably save a whole bunch of money if you didn't do that.
Absolutely. Well, the first trouble spot is old appliances.
Yeah, old
So,
refrigerators.
yeah, you've got, you know, your grandparents' freezer. You know, it's been working for 60 years. It's great. It's costing you an arm and a leg.
Well, I went back to the old ice box. I just
Yeah.
got a big block of ice and that's why.
Xbox.
Is
Yeah,
that
it keeps
Energy
every-
Star compliant?
Yeah, it is. It keeps everything cold.
Yeah, but you have to make the ice, right?
No. I go and get one of those old, you know, from an old Three Stooges movies. And
The guy that drives around the neighborhood
That's
with,
it, exactly.
selling the blocks of ice.
So he
Still
uses
selling it today.
automobile fuel to drive to the store to get a
That's
block of
right.
ice.
Can you put solar panels on my car?
We could, sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, right now I have an electric one. I just plug it into the wall, but I can only drive 100 feet.
Yeah, that doesn't work so well.
No,
you know, I was
sometimes I
wondering
just crack
about,
myself up,
you
yeah.
know, trying to keep, we were talking about the return of investment, trying to keep the costs under control in putting solar on your house. So is there anything out there like tax credits or rebates that would help you do that?
Yes, actually, there's still, PG&E is still offering a rebate. It's down to 20 cents a watt, so it has gone down quite a bit.
Well, what was it?
It started out at, I think it was $5 a watt when it first started.
But at the same time, hasn't the cost of the equipment gone
Yes.
down too? So they're kind of in parallel with one another?
They're in parallel. Actually, systems, overall, the price of a system has gone down because the race to the bottom as far as panel prices has outstripped the lowering of the rebates.
Well, wasn't there some Chinese company that was like flooding the market or something?
China has manufactured enough solar modules to keep the entire world supplied with solar modules for the next 4 years.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I kept hearing about the, you know, they were
So
trying
now's
to
the
undercut
time
every
to
price.
be looking at a solar solution.
Now is definitely a good time to look at a solar solution. I would recommend against the Chinese modules. They're cheap, and I'm using that word specifically. You know?
Inexpensive.
Typical made in
No,
China
no,
type.
no. I mean, you can
Cheap.
get inexpensive, good modules nowadays without
Okay.
going through the Chinese solution. And there's a lot of American-made modules that are not that much more than a Chinese solution.
So what is a typical cost that someone is looking at? Is it still a big barrier to getting something like that put in your house?
Not really. I mean, you know, there's been so many amazing changes. A system can cost anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000
Mhm.
for a home.
Yeah, mine was 35.
Okay,
And
yeah.
that was when these panels were a little more expensive.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I
aren't
was 5 kilowatts.
the panels now even generate more power per square foot than they used to
Yeah, they're much
before
more
too,
efficient.
right?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so you can get more for your money. And when space is a limitation, you can get a larger system without having to have more space.
That's absolutely correct.
You know, I found, and this is just more of my own personal situation, and like your advice on this, is twice a year I go on the roof and I spray just water and you know, just basically hose them down because pollen and all that other stuff can walk it.
Right.
It's
It is a good idea.
isn't it?
It's actually, we actually have, I have a business associate who has a cleaning service, and so we do advise clients to do that. The thing you have to realize, if you just go hose them down, you want to make sure that you don't have really hard water, because the hard water can actually put a
Yeah.
film on the PV
Mm.
that will shade them or cause more loss of
More
power
shade,
production than the pollen.
Well, I tell you, on my roof, because of the hill and all that, it's really scary being on the roof, getting toward the end. That's when I get my daughter to do it.
That's nice. You like
I hold her by
her.
the legs and, you know, okay, sweetie, remember, Daddy loves you.
There are services, you can pay for this, it's more cost effective.
Yeah, but it
than a
costs like
medical bill.
$10. I'm not gonna pay that for those gigs.
What kind of financing is available for people who want to put these on?
Well, can I ask you that?
Yeah.
You do financing, right?
Hard money, yeah, well, you know, I guess, I'd make a, well, it's owner occupied, and we're not really big on owner occupied.
Oh, okay.
But
We do
wait,
investor
that
loans.
actually
Oh,
goes
okay.
into one of my questions, is does it increase the home value? Because in theory, then if it's a non-owner occupied building, you know, you might actually finance it if it
Oh,
increases the
absolutely,
value. So
yeah.
does it increase the value? I mean, one would think it does if your PG&E costs are down.
Well, you know, there are market studies that say absolutely, and there are market studies that say it increases the value by this. However, you have to look at what the economy's at and where we're at. So if homes are selling, then yes, it's
Yeah, in a
increasing the
normal
value.
market,
In a normal
yeah.
market,
Yeah.
yes, it would increase the value. In our current market, I tell customers to be a little bit cautious in thinking that this is gonna increase the value of their home by the cost of the system.
You know, Kate, I really appreciate your honesty. I mean, here you are, you know, trying to, you know, that's your business, you sell the systems.
Right.
And I appreciate your honesty about, you know, not just saying, oh, yeah, sure, it's gonna increase it. through
Well,
value.
I've had 2 customers who've actually moved their systems when they sold their home. So they actually took their systems off and then they paid us to come and reinstall them on a new house because they couldn't get the value of the system.
Do they take
in
the whole
sale.
roof, so if it rains, it kind of, I guess there's ways to take it off the roof and still keep the roof intact.
Yes, there
Okay,
are.
we are gonna cut to our second commercial break, and here is the trivia question. We're in the studio with Kate Collins from Gaia Energy Systems, who's teaching us all about solar. Very interesting. We're gonna have her on the next segment also. So, the theme again is famous parents of famous actors, all right? Melanie Griffith's mother was well known for starring in an Alfred Hitchcock film. Who is she? And by the way, I actually got to be in a movie with her, not about, oh, gosh, 20 years ago or so. I got a funny story about that. But anyway, the first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. I'll tell that funny story when we come back. Their website is lighthouse4fun.com. Call 888-912-1190. That's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. Melanie Griffith's mother was well known for starring in an Alfred Hitchcock film. Who is she? Call 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, address, email address, and phone number, and remember to speak slowly and spell it out for us, please. And we will be right back. Good.
All right.
Okay. I told you we have fun.
You do. I will say that with 3 of you, I feel like I'm not getting to completely answer the questions sometimes.
That's,
Okay, well,
That's our job.
and
is
that's
to-
also radio too, you know,
Oh, okay.
you gotta keep it moving or people tend to doze off and.
Oh, got it. Okay, that's
they're-
good, yeah.
They're on to the next thought, so
Right.
in order to get it kind of fast paced and get in there, you
Right.
gave great answers.
yeah,
to
you
the-
did very
Oh, you're
good.
fine,
So
yeah.
far, it sounds really good.
Yep.
But I want to tell you so much more.
Well, that's what we
I
got
know.
segment 2 for.
Yeah,
There's so much in
absolutely.
my head.
It's just really much.
We're going to make this a series.
Right, sure, there you- okay. Well, I've been doing it for 8.5 years, so I've got a pretty good handle on it.
Absolutely.
And I would like to talk more about the financing aspect, because there are a lot of different options for
Well,
people.
my next question was
Yeah.
the difference between leasing and financing,
Yeah.
so that'll give you an opportunity to talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay. Yeah, you can just go right into that next one.
Okay, we're doing well. So we'll have you on for this next segment.
So
Talk a
what-
little bit about commercial stuff.
What app is that you got on there?
This is Notability, so I can make my own notes
Oh,
It's kind of interesting. All right.
if I need to, and you know, or you can type on it.
I still haven't figured out how to really use that for business purposes yet.
Oh, the iPad?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
Oh,
amazing.
I want one.
It
I'm
is
gonna go buy one.
amazing.
My
Yeah,
kids
can
just
you-
watch TV on it.
Can you
Yeah.
write on it rather than
I do, my
using your
wife has,
finger?
I got
With a stylus, yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't usually carry the stylus with me, but yeah, I have a little stylus you can use, and it takes notes really well. And then, of course, there's thousands of
How you doing, Kramer?
different apps.
Doing good,
that
thank
can
you.
use.
Good. A funny show, huh?
It's a great
Yeah,
show.
there you go.
All right, good.
Makeup.
See, you would,
Oh, makeup,
Mark,
hold on.
you'd like Blog Shelf, because blog shelf is cool because that way
Good.
you can get,
Thank you.
Thank
you know,
you.
you can put some blogs in here, and it's really easy
Shoot, I just
to.
did my hair and I can't do a thing with it.
Oh,
How's
that's
that?
actually
Okay,
very
perfect.
cool.
Yeah, blog shelf is cool. Then you pick the blogs you
Yeah,
like,
like,
if you like
I
how
get
you
my hair
wire,
cut
company,
really
risk,
short.
whatever. And
You
then
know,
it'll
my
download
wife
all
is
the
getting
articles.
ready,
You just pick
so
the
I'll come
blog you
over and
want
I'll
to
say,
read, all
okay,
your articles
you know,
show up.
okay,
you know,
you guys
just
ready?
find
Okay,
the
get my
one
hair
you
done.
wanna
Ready?
Talk
Okay,
about.
done.
There's the full article.
All through.
You know? So
Yeah, that's neat.
I like this app. This is a good one. Blog
Okay.
shelf. So.
Very cool.
All right, team, ready?
Ready?
There we go. Let's do our segment here. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Brian Burke of Praxis Capital and Mark Hunt of Pacific Private Money. And we're in the studio here with Kate Collins from Gaia Energy Systems teaching us about solar. When we cut to the second commercial break, we asked this trivia question. Melanie Griffith's mother was well known for starring in an Alfred Hitchcock film. Who is she? Anyone? You remember The Birds?
The lady that gets the knife?
No, that's Psycho.
Oh.
No, this was
No, that's right.
Timmy Hedren.
Oh.
And, you know, I got a quick little funny story about that. I was doing some kind of dancing in this movie made for Hallmark Hall of Fame. And Mark Harmon was in it. You know, he's married to Pam Dauber. And they had the camera, and they had the arms on the camera, because it's like a close-up of him dancing with it, right? So she's standing next to me, and the arms are these mechanical arms. So I look over and I go, don't be jealous of those arms. You're a lot better dancer than that machine. Anyway, she laughed. got a kick out of her. Okay. Kate, you're telling us all about solar, and I got a quick question for you about commercial solar. When does it make sense for commercial buildings?
Almost always.
Okay. That helps.
Yeah, no. I mean, you know, the biggest prohibitator with commercial is the roofs. So if your roof is not strong enough, or if you've got too many obstructions on it, it's just not going to work. I mean, we have a customer who owns a restaurant, really wants solar, and we just can't do it. There's too much junk on the top of the roof.
What about all that's one part. The other part would be, I guess, a lot of trees blocking
Yes.
it. And permits. Theoretically, you would think that, you know, cities would be very easy about getting permits for those.
All depends on the city.
Yeah.
We work all over Northern California, and I won't say who the bad cities are.
Yeah, that's probably
but
not
they're
why.
out there.
But a lot of the cities and a lot of the counties really are working with companies to make solar, the permitting process, more streamlined and simpler. But you know, some permitting offices can be a challenge.
Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I have a question. I've seen financing available for solar, but I've also now started to see people talking about leasing solar systems. And I was curious, what's the difference between financing and leasing, and what are the benefits of each of those?
Okay, well, financing is, I mean, it's the average vehicle. You know, the biggest drawbacks to financing, of course, is you've got to have good income, you've got to have good credit, you've got to have equity in your house. If you don't have all three of those things, you're probably not going to get a traditional solar loan. Now, there is financing that actually is unsecured, but then you've got to have really good credit.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't provide financing. but
We do
sometimes
have
you
financing tools, and we absolutely have leases, and
Okay.
we've got two phenomenal leases, and the leases are really exciting because it's zero money down, you're net cash flow positive from day one, and you know, this
Wow.
brings you back to that question about, you know, how much should your bills be. For leases, your bills probably need to be about $150 a month, but if you've got $150 a month in power, we can get you into a lease, and it doesn't matter if you're upside down on your house. It doesn't matter if your income is not, you know, too high, as long as you have a good credit score. If you've got 700 or over, we can get you into a lease.
I mean,
So-
that's basically zero risk.
Yeah, there's no risk at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you were to do a lease like that, do you guys charge for the energy consumption, or is it charged just based off the cost of the system?
No, the way it works, it's actually, it's backed by a large financial company, okay, and they actually carry the lease, so they own the system, okay, and so they're taking advantage of the fact that they have the federal tax credit that they can take advantage of. They've got the rebate, they get that as well.
Sure.
And so they're taking all of that, they deduct that out of the cost of the system, which lowers the cost, you know, that you're gonna be paying for the lease.
But you pay I think your question is, do you pay a set amount, or do you say, okay, well, my bill was really high this month, so they get
No, you pay a set amount.
That's-
So they're not metering the power that comes out of the solar system to
to determine what your payments are gonna be, no.
And is there any
that's cool.
guarantee on that? I mean, do they guarantee that it'll be a positive?
Yeah, they guarantee power production. So what they do is, we design the system, and then it's a guarantee that says you're absolutely gonna get this many kilowatt hours per year,
Wow.
guaranteed.
That's great. I mean, I look at my meter and I keep liking when the arrow is pointing toward the street and not to me.
Like going backwards?
But Brian, you said at the break, there's some really interesting thing with the lenders.
I did?
You did.
Oh, you were talking about the Skype program.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about that. Yeah,
Yeah, don't make me look bad on that.
I know. See how long my memory is? I've seen some counties, I know Sonoma County does this, and I think other counties have followed suit, where they've had lending programs that are sponsored by the counties in some fashion, where you can pay the loan back in conjunction with your property taxes. And again, it doesn't matter if you're upside down in the house, etc. But I've also seen that there's been some problems with that from home lenders objecting to debt going into a senior position to them. So can you talk a little bit about whether that's a viable program currently, or if that's kind of yesterday's news?
No, it absolutely is going on. Sonoma County is the leader in that. It's happening. Some of the other counties are following suit, but because Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac said, oh, no.
They're filing suit.
Yeah, exactly. So for a lot of counties, they just said, okay, we're gonna wait and see how this plays out. But Sonoma County, it's a very strong program. You cannot be upside down in your house, though. You absolutely have to have equity in the house. You also have to prove energy efficient measures. And the load is at 7%.
So when you look at all these different options, it sounds like leasing is a pretty
Yeah,
attractive
leasing,
way
that's
to
the
go.
one that's pretty exciting.
Leasing is really attractive.
So now, when the lease comes due, do they take it off the house, or?
You have two options. It's a 20-year lease.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So, and the great thing about the lease, another great thing about it is
Transferable to the new.
it is
owner.
transferable
Yeah.
to a new homeowner, okay, or you can buy it out if you sell the house, okay. The other thing is you're going to have to replace your inverter at some point during those 20 years.
Okay.
With the lease, they do that.
How much is an inverter?
Depends on the size of the system, anywhere
Okay.
from
Let's say a 5
residential 5K to about $3,000.
Oh, yeah, so that's a big yeah.
Yeah, it's a chunk of change.
And we're thinking, why didn't I lease?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is leases have been available for about 5 years, but when they first came out, I looked at what was out there in the market and I went, these are not good for my clients. Now, that was my personal choice.
Yeah.
In the last year, what we've seen is leases have just gone crazy, and there are some leases that I don't think are as good. That's why my company doesn't carry them.
Okay.
But there are some that are really phenomenal, and there are some companies doing just amazing things with leases.
Well, it really helps when you get these tax credits, especially if you don't need them, and the leasing
Yeah.
company does.
Yeah.
And before I forget, Kate, because people are, I'm sure, going to have questions for you. How do they get a hold of you and want to learn more about solar and get a bid from you, I guess?
Oh, great.
And
Okay.
what can you give our listeners? A 2-for-1? No, I'm just
Like
kidding.
2 for 1? No. No.
2 houses for the price of 1. No.
That's easy in today's market.
Yeah.
Right. Well, first thing, how to get in touch with us, 2 ways. I'll give you our toll-free number. We are in Santa Rosa as well as up in Mendocino County. Toll-free is 877-424-2776. And of course, you can see us on the web at www.GaiaEnergySystems.com. And that is GAIA, EnergySystems.com.
Good. And for those of you who are listening too quickly here, can you listen too quickly? I don't know. We're going to have this on YouTube at Best of Investing Radio Show, and then we'll also have podcasts available pretty soon for the listeners on www.bestofinvesting.com.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Kate, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio. Guys, let's see here. Let us cut to our third and final trivia question commercial break. When we come back, we'll get into email time and then talk about what is going on with interest rates. Holy smokes, 2014.
Yes.
All right. And then also we'll have the special trivia contest for the giveaway. Okay, here's the third and final trivia question. She is known for being Hannah Montana, but who is her father? The first 3 callers with, you know this one? But it's not a NASCAR question.
I know.
I don't understand. Okay. The first 3 callers with the correct answer win a free 3-day, 2-night stay at the Lighthouse Resort. Again, their website is lighthouseforfun.com. Call 888-912-1190, and don't be singing it to us here. Okay, that's 888-912-1190 to answer this question. She's known for being Hannah Montana, but who is her father? Again, call 888-912-1190. Make sure to include your name, address, email address, and phone number, and remember to speak slowly and spell out your information for us, please. And we will be right back.
Mr. Achy Breaky Heart
That's
himself.
You know that NASCAR and country music are synonymous.
That's true.
They're
Go
just-
ahead.
that's one
Say
and
that
the
on the
same.
air. I like that.
They got the limo out front.
What?
What's that?
I don't know what that
It's the
was.
Hannah Montana intro song.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. He's got girls too.
That's right.
Yeah. My daughter actually used to watch that show.
So are you done with me, or am I staying? What do you want?
You're free to stay and listen in and ask questions when you hear, you just pop in. It's the situation, a bunch of guys sitting around a bar having a beer without a beer.
Yeah.
How's that?
And gals.
And
It's the
gals.
last segment. We should have a pretty healthy segment
What time is
4.
Yeah,
We
we
should.
should.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I wanted to do that
how-
because of the email time.
When do you think you'll be done? Because I have to be in Novato by 2:15.
We'll be done like 2:05, so probably not quite.
I mean, you
Probably
can
not
leave
quite.
now if you want.
Yeah, I probably should,
that's-
yeah.
that's- Oh,
So-
before
Yeah,
you
you're
do,
gonna be late
you want to get her
otherwise.
to.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
But I've got to get your card
Okay.
because Real Goods knocked on our door like a week ago, 2
Yeah.
weeks ago, and says, "You guys would be interested in a solar system lease, blah blah blah, this and that." My wife says, "Well, we've kind of been looking into that for a few years." The guy said, "Well, we want us to call us in the afternoon or the evening." So he says, "Call us in the evening." So now every afternoon, they call twice every afternoon, and it's like, when is evening, afternoon? I don't know when that is.
We'd be glad to call you in the evening.
Evening, afternoon?
So, but at any rate, we're kind of thinking about this, so
Good.
we should talk, because we're in Santa Rosa and you're in Santa Rosa.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What-
And I-
what-
And you don't want to buy solar from the guy, knocking on the doors. Same guy that's like trying to
Yeah, I
send you an email
know,
back.
I know, I know.
He-
Well, it's real
Yeah,
goods, I
true.
know they're big and whatever, but I don't know, I mean,
We've been around since 1994,
yeah.
and last year we installed 169 solar systems on homes,
Nice.
as well as a couple of commercial systems.
Nice.
So,
What I
yeah.
need, Edward, is,
Yeah. Me. Okay.
Brian put on his headphones, pretend like he's there too.
Because
Mark, you're
he gets-
okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Because he gets the duty in there.
In other words, idiots, get back into line here.
Oh, see, this is
So
gonna
you're
be hard
looking
to
at
do.
me, even though I'm doing my own thing, because I'm asking these excellent questions.
And you
remember
always
that.
nod your head like you're agreeing. If you
Yes.
ever shake your head like you disagree,
We don't like
that's
that.
just wrong.
That's right.
You
exactly.
always have to agree with the host.
But unfortunately, Brian, you're gonna have to just, not talk.
Yeah, yeah. I know
Because
it's
you-
hard for you.
You
It's
guys
probably
are
better
squeezed
that
in.
way.
But,
So-
but because you're in the shot, you gotta have your headphones on, yes. I must have said something funny because you're laughing.
Yeah.
Good.
And keep going, I'm gonna do it, keep going.
I'll be counting down for a little bit there.
You can even give a laugh, because sometimes he's funny.
Sometimes I'm funny.
Well, I don't know.
Remember John Belushi? Yeah.
That's right, Animal
Animal
House.
House.
That's great. Thank you very
Good.
much, appreciate that.
Kate, thank you very
I can
much.
smile and nod. Thank you for having me, that was really fun.
Good. And you're very welcome. It'll be on tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Live on.
Okay.
You like our sign?
I do like your
That's
sign.
nice.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Kramer-
And then
Kramer got that one.
It goes onto YouTube as well?
I'm gonna be posting this to YouTube tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, fabulous.
And
I love
TV
that.
in a
Yeah.
short while.
So if people go to Best of Investing Radio Show, there's a whole bunch of us.
Okay.
So what they would have to do in order to find yours is, because it won't have as many hits, it'll be Best of Investing Radio Show and then put in Kate Collins and then it should pop right up.
Right. And,
Sweet.
Yes, trade me cards.
great, okay. And
We'll be in touch.
Tom Bickford is my salesman who handles your territory.
Okay.
He is our, see, you're not white enough to be Santa. Tom is our solar Santa. He looks
Oh,
exactly like
looks like-
Santa Claus. So I will have Tom give you a call.
Yeah, have Tom
In the
call me.
evening.
Yeah, here, let me, give him a pen or something.
I can
Awesome.
definitely do.
And if you put your wife's name on there as well, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, though she never talks about this stuff, because she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So regarding the YouTube,
Yeah.
can we put that on our website? Can we
You
have
sure
information to
can,
do that?
absolutely.
Awesome.
Please do.
You can always link to it, yeah.
We're actually
Put the home
launching
number under
our
that.
new website on February 14th.
Nice.
So people
Awesome.
can fall in love with Gaia all over again.
There you go. And if you
Very
want,
cool.
if you want to call me at some point to actually have a commercial on the show, 'cause remember we go to commercial break each time.
Right, right.
You let me know.
Okay, great.
We'll be pushing.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thanks again.
Enjoy.
Awesome.
Appreciate you
Thank you
coming back.
very
Meet you.
much, appreciate it. See ya.
Thank you.
And, send you a tape when you show.
Fabulous. Okay, great. Thanks.
You did
Bye-bye.
great.
Thanks
Bye.
again.
You got the limo out front.
I thought you'd never. No, I'm just kidding. No, she was sweet. She was very good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Warning.
Yeah, warning, you're deleting that. No kidding, I don't need it anymore. That's why I'm deleting it.
Okay, so we'll come back in. I'll do the trivia question, the Hannah Montana. Go ahead and like your NASCAR comparison. You got to sing us a few bars.
No.
And then I'll just give the quick special trivia contest, get right into email time, and then finish off with interest rates and all that.
Yep.
Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Oh, let's see how many minutes we have here.
Do the math.
Yeah, that's it. Do the math. Let's see.
Do the math.
We can borrow my time calculator.
That's true. So we had 30 minutes and 30.
Log shelf.
This was easy because I didn't have to go over a minute on this. So, okay, so that means we have.
Right, when you want to
15
show that to the
minutes.
camera, feel free and I'll zoom in on it.
What's that, this?
Yeah. Just flip it over anytime you feel like it.
Oh, my time calculator?
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, how do you add though? Can you do that?
Oh, yeah. It's,
Really?
yeah, you just put in like,
622.
10, well,
plus-
that's 10 days, so we don't want to do that.
We don't want to do 10 days.
No, you do,
Okay, let's do like 6 minutes, 22 sockets. 6 minutes, 22 seconds.
6,
22. Plus 9:54.
6:22
Plus 9:54.
plus 9:54.
What do you come up with?
16:16.
Is that right? Huh?
I don't know. I don't do math in my head.
16
I'm
minutes
so hard
and
money
16
listener.
seconds. What's your other segment? Do you have another segment?
No. I was just.
You're
This
just making
was
stuff
easy
up.
because it ended in 12, 12, and 9. I thought
Oh,
we
that's
could add
easy.
together.
Well, the other thing you can do is you put how many minutes in there, and then it'll, as you
Subtract it
subtract
out?
each one, it'll tell you what's left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
It's
Okay,
kinda cool.
so.
Well, now you're assuming that I know how to work it.
Yeah. Take 45 minutes and 30 seconds.
45 minutes.
That includes all commercial breaks.
Uh-huh.
Subtract out 9 minutes and 9 seconds.
9:09.
09. Subtract out 12:12. Actually, this was the easy one because again I didn't have to go over a minute. And then subtract out 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Plus 15
So,
minutes.
what's that?
Pretty close to 15 minutes. 15:03 or 14 minutes.
16:03.
No, it should be 15:03.
Oh, wait. 45.
Oh no, you're right. Hold on. This is.
Show the television
No,
audience.
no.
Show the television audience.
Look at that right
No.
there.
No.
So, are we
No,
right
it's
or are we
15
wrong?
minutes.
Is it what?
It should be just under 15 minutes.
45 minutes minus 9:09 minus 12:12 minus 9:12.
Yeah.
Equals 1603.
I don't know. Wait a second.
No, they can't. No. Can't be.
It's defective. Take it back.
I mean, 9 plus 12 is 21, right? Plus 9 is 30 minutes. 30 minutes and 33 seconds away from 45 minutes. It's actually 14 minutes and
Yeah,
57 seconds.
The total is 30 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subtracted from 45 minutes and 30 seconds should be actually 14:57.
Yeah, so 15, almost,
15,
yeah,
15.
3 seconds under 15.
Yeah.
So we got a 15-minute segment ahead
Okay.
of us. Nice. Okay, we're gonna.
We got something.
You guys
got
ready?
something. We're ready.
Okay. Ready for our silence?
Yep.
Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my two co-hosts, the handsome Mark Hunt of Pacific Private Money, and the even more handsome, no, I'm kidding, they're just as handsome, Ryan
You
Murray.
gotta be kidding.
Okay, when we cut to the third commercial break, we asked this trivia question. She is known for being Hannah Montana, but who was her father?
I know
Brian,
this
you
one.
know this. Who
Yeah,
was
of
it?
course. Well, NASCAR and country music go hand in hand, right? These
Yes,
are
it does.
synonymous, so it would be Billy Ray Cyrus.
That's right, and sing a little Achy Breaky Heart for us.
Oh, Mark said he was going to do that for
No,
me.
no.
Okay, and here is the special trivia contest. All right, ready for this?
What's the prize?
The prize is the jewelry, the pendant.
The nice pendant.
The nice
that you saw
pendant, okay.
From
Yes.
John earlier.
All right, name all of the prisoners, the various actors' real names who survived in the movie The Dirty Dozen. Now here are the rules, okay? You cannot have won a prize on this show. You have to email edward@bestofinvesting.com by midnight tonight, and I'll randomly pick from among the winners and announce it on future show. Okay?
Okay.
All right, now let's get right into email.
Repeat that question one more time.
Okay, it is name all of the prisoners, and I want the actors' real names, of all of them who survived in the movie The Dirty Dozen. Okay?
Okay, and the prizes are a very nice pendant
Very
from
nice pendant from
Stefan.
And you can't
Stefan-
answer that
Stefan
question.
Hill.
You're ineligible.
You're ineligible. Okay, here we go. Here is a, excuse me, not a trivia question. Here is an email we received for Mark. How do you determine the interest rate you charge your borrowers? I'm sorry for laughing, but we were teasing about, it depends on what they look like. Not,
That's right. Depends if I like their face,
Yeah.
or their voice if it's on the phone. You know, well, that's an interesting question because we're not, private money lending is not regulated, like bank lending, nor do we have the type of competition that bank lending has. So at Pacific Private Money, we make primarily loans to real estate investors so that they can buy homes to fix and flip, or buy homes for to hold for rental income. Or sometimes there's the need for, maybe, parents died and the siblings want to, one sibling wants the house and the other one doesn't, so we can provide loans to help do buyouts in probate cases and other estate stuff. But generally speaking, it really depends on the compelling nature of the loan. And what I mean by that is that when we look at a loan request, we're basically looking at the quality of the borrower and the quality of the real estate. So,
but it also depends on your lenders, what they're willing to lend out.
Right. So that's exactly right. So, but we've been doing this long enough to where we kind of know that based on, the city, the neighborhood, the type of home, and the type of borrower, we generally know within a range, certainly within a 1% range, and sometimes down to within a 0.5% range of what we think our investors, will loan on that. And so really, it is investor driven. I mean, it's Pacific Private Money. The private money means, we have individual private investors who, among their other investments, they diversify into what's called trust deed secured loans. Basically, they fund these real estate secured loans with their private monies, usually it's out of their IRA or their savings account.
Okay, so what's the interest rate that you're charging your borrower, and what's the interest rate generally that your investors are earning?
Got it. So the vast majority of loans that we're writing today for, let's just stick with real estate investors, usually fall between 10 and 12%. Now, we do make less expensive loans as well. We can do loans in the mid 8% to through the 9s if it's a very low loan to value. Let's say someone owns income property free and clear, and they want to pull some money out to do whatever they please. We can make, if it's below 50% of the value of the property, generally speaking, we've got investors who like to do those types of low LTV type loans, and they've said to me, look, if you can find me these loans, we'll make our money available, let's say 8.5%. So that, but more common is the person who comes to us and wants to get the maximum financing allowable in this market to purchase real estate. So maybe it's a 65% purchase money loan, between 10 and 12%, again, depending on, is it in Marin or is it in the flats of Oakland or Vallejo or Solano County. I mean, just every market has a different nuance.
Okay, so you actually have two parts. One is your borrowers, and the other one is your investors. In either case, you might have listeners who want to get a hold of you for either being an investor or being a borrower. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, the best way is just to go to pacificprivatemoney.com, and all of our contact information and my information and the broker information is all on there. So pacificprivatemoney.com. We're also located in Marin County. We're at 415-883-2150.
And of course, you can deal with people outside of Marin. And if you go to bestofinvesting.com, you can click on Mark's face and go to his website from there.
Oh yeah, we loan all over Northern California, by the way.
Okay. And Brian, we have an email question here for you. And you're going to have to explain what you do for a living. That's why this is important. Okay, how do you finance the properties that you purchase? What is it that you do for a living besides being on the show?
Yeah, I know. This is all I do. Our company is Praxis Capital, and we're a real estate private equity investment firm. We invest in distressed real estate throughout Northern California, and even do multifamily investments in Texas and in areas with strong economies. We're primarily buying houses to fix and flip and to buy and hold and rent, and we're buying a lot of houses now that are in foreclosure, and we're able to rent these houses back to the former homeowners or tenants, and essentially it's like getting a loan modification that the government could never provide, and takes the stress of the foreclosure, the imminent foreclosure, away from.
So you're not just buying a foreclosure, you can actually get in before then?
We can, yeah, we can purchase through short sale or foreclosure or bank owned. We do, we fish from every pond, so to speak. But you know, when I first started in this industry, it was over 20 years ago, and yes, believe it or not, there was distressed real estate 20 years ago and in 2005.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, and back when my business was younger, I financed most of my deals through private money borrowing, just as what Mark was just talking about before. And it's an excellent avenue to finance properties for real estate investors, especially when you're first starting out, or even if you've been doing it a while. We still use private money to this day on some deals, but our primary method of financing real estate now is coming through our private equity funds. And in the private equity funds, what we do is we raise money through high net worth individuals, institutional investors, family offices, and we use that money as equity to finance our purchases. And we do still borrow from local banks and community banks to leverage those investments, but primarily we're doing everything using those private equity funds currently.
Okay. What kind of you know, the folks that invest in your equity funds, so what kind of returns are they getting these days?
We just calculated one of our funds last week for end of year, and we did a little bit over 17% for those folks, and that was only for 3 quarters, because there was one quarter where we were in ramp up, so in 3 quarters we were able to generate.
That was net to net
yeah,
to the investor?
that's net to the
Wow.
investor.
Yeah.
What's the minimum investment to get into something like that?
Our minimum investment is $100,000 in any of the funds.
How many projects or houses were in that fund?
We did about 35 houses in that fund in 9 months. So we're doing about 100 houses a year. We have 3 different funds that we're actively managing property under, and 2 single property funds. And in the single property funds, we purchased a 136 unit apartment building in Texas and rehabbed the entire complex. And you know, that's just one fund with its own set of investors.
Sure.
And so we have a variety of different ways that people can invest. Some people like multifamily as an asset class. Some people like single family as an asset class. I tend to like both asset classes. It's just in different locations. In California, I believe that single family is a great asset class to be in. That's where the rental demand is. Former homeowners that have been foreclosed, they don't want to move into an apartment. They want to move into a house, and we can provide that product for
How
those
much
people.
money under management do you have?
We have about 20 million under management currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that actually kind of feeds into what was going on recently. Weren't we just reading that interest rates are going to stay low for until 2014?
Yeah.
Well, that's the prediction. That's what the Fed came out and said. And what's interesting is the Fed now is decided they're going to give out a little bit more information than they used to. And back in the day, the Fed was always so hush hush.
Yeah, they're trying to build some of that confidence in the marketplace.
Yeah,
I
right.
think.
Yeah, and so they're basically announcing that their intentions, at least right now, here we are at the beginning of 2012, is to keep interest rates low through the end of 2014.
Did you say through the end of 2014?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we're talking 12, 13, 14. So we're looking at potentially 3 years worth of low interest rates, at least in terms of how what control the Fed has. And what's interesting is that is in line with at least some of the the experienced blog writers who understand this market and are looking forward. Generally speaking, now are predicting that at least the government would benefit from making sure that liquidity. We have liquidity in the market, because that's one of the most important factors of a strong real estate
Well,
market.
I think it's kind of amazing that they would keep the interest rates low, that they would say that they're going to keep them low through 2014. You know, usually they keep it on a short leash.
Well, businesses are trying to make decisions, and to make decisions you need to have some information and some certainty, and you want to know what's going to be happening, and uncertainty always leads to a lack of decision making. I think this is what they're trying to do
You
to
know
get
what?
people off the fence.
That is a very good point. I think that's probably the key, because I'm worrying, well, gosh, how can the government kind of like, quote, predict that far in advance? I mean, they can choose to raise or lower interest rates, but maybe that is the key.
I don't think it's a prediction. I think they're just trying to build some confidence. You know, I read an article recently, 2011 was the worst year for new home sales since the Census Bureau started tracking sales in 1963. And we know that the real estate market has to experience a recovery for the overall economy to experience a solid recovery.
Sure.
And anything that they can do to help build that confidence going forward for the real estate market and for the economy as a whole to grow, that's what we need right now.
Absolutely, but you know, that's only part of the picture, because it's not enough to have low interest rates, because the definition of liquidity is the buying public, the ready, willing, and able buying public who want to go out and purchase real estate at market value need to have access to that capital. So
Jobs.
Right. Well,
That's what we need.
there's the jobs aspect of it. I'm thinking in terms
The
of
lending aspect.
The lending aspect.
Yeah.
You know, banks have made it much more difficult. The pendulum has swung in the opposite direction. You know, virtually 180 degrees. It's much more difficult now to get bank financing, and that certainly has an impact. I think it's in my opinion, one of the two most major factors that are impacting negatively
That's a good
the real estate market right now. Number one is liquidity, is how easy is it to get the bank loan, and number two, the prospect of continued deflation. If people think homes are going to be less expensive in 6 months, they're not going to buy this month, and we need people to buy in January, February. We need the market to begin to recover.
Hey, Brian, does that make you a little nervous on your apartments?
No, not at all. In fact, you know, what we're seeing is our apartments are located in Texas, and Houston, Texas is the nation's job growth leader. So, you know, they've created over 85,000 jobs last year, and that's what's supporting that. I think that keeping interest rates low is a good thing. The job growth is a good thing, and when you talk about the lending, if banks can loan money out at 3.5%, 4.5%, 5%, and they're only paying these extremely low interest rates of near zero, that's going to motivate them to want to put that capital to work.
How
and
do
get
I
it out
get to
there.
buy at zero, borrow at zero?
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be nice?
Would be nice. Okay, guys, we're going to cut to our thoughts for the day. Mondays are an awful way to spend 1/7 of your life. You ever thought about that? Is there any way to change that? Maybe just not have Mondays anymore. Okay.
Take it off the calendar.
And I saw an ad in the paper. For sale, parachute, only used once, never opened, small stain. Ooh, that's nasty. Scary. All right, tune in next week to the Best of Invest. Actually, tune in a couple of weeks, because we are preempted due to Cal basketball. So tune in a couple of weeks to the Best of Investing, and we're going to be giving away 9 more free vacations for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long. And that's a wrap.
Yes.